What's up, YouTube? Angry Jackalope here, Rob Ricks. Happy 4th of July. I'm up early, gonna put some finishing touches on the slice video, but I also felt it was important to have a little conversation with you good folks regarding why do we even celebrate the 4th of July in the first place. Now, there are some videos floating around out there showing a lot of people blissfully ignorant to the facts why we celebrate the 4th of July. Most people would think 4th of July is just a celebration of America with fireworks and barbecue. I can understand that. As a person who went through school and did not really pay attention to history or anything else, a lot of these things were learned as an adult. If you see my second Angry Jackalope patch, you'll notice I have a 1776 on there. And I became a school of the Founding Fathers and of the Constitution and things of that nature much later in life. So the school system ultimately failed me, which is no big surprise, as I would argue that a lot of the methodologies and ways to teach leave something to be desired. Anyway, I wanted to discuss it. I wanted to talk with you guys a little bit and give you guys a quick little lesson, because I read through it again last night because I wanted to refresh myself with it, and I wanted to point a few things out. Okay, so July 4th, 1776, unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. Now, it was interesting because as they wrote this, they actually apologized and justified it, right? And they said, when in the course of human events becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the cause which impel them to the separation. So they're like, you know what, there comes a time things get to a point you have to separate away and then, create your own equal form of government. And then assume among the powers of the earth the separate equal station which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. Okay? And then they're saying this is the reasons why. So, this is the part where everybody's familiar. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. So, if you guys aren't understanding what that says, is governments are instituted among men. So we're creating these governments by ourselves with the hope that they can help us, right? To getting their power, okay? Getting their power from us, the governed, the consent of the governed, by the permission of us, okay? That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. All right. So if the government that we created starts to become destructive, it's the right of us, the people, to alter it, to change it up, or to abolish it, get rid of it. Okay? And to institute a new government. All right. Laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established shall not be changed for light and transient causes. So they're warning, don't fuck around and try to destroy a government because you don't like, some little bullshit things, I don't like the fact that, they're making us say this word instead of this word, you know? It's like, no, more like, okay, if the government becomes really oppressive and limits your abilities and limits your rights and limits, you know, things that inhibit your pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness, right? Um, and accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by accomplishing the forms to which they are accustomed. So, this is like a long relationship, a bad relationship. They're saying that we are used, you know, we're disposed to suffering, right? And we suffer evils for a while. You know, we'll ride that shit on our back, and that's kind of human nature. And I thought that was an interesting line, because it's like, how many times has somebody been in a bad relationship? Everybody tells them, man, that's just not working. It's not working. It's not working. Oh man, it's, you know, they're comfortable, right? They don't want to be uncomfortable. Okay, so note that here, okay? But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evidence a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. So they're saying, look, when it comes to a point and there's just so much evidence of just abuse and bullshit, it is not just, yeah, we should probably, it's your duty. It's your responsibility as the people to affect the change, okay? It's your responsibility, and to provide a new guard for future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former system of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. Like I said, they were justifying it, and they list shit. I went through I'm not going to read the list, but, you know, they went through talking about, they tried to create a law. He would like, no, I'm not going to let you do that. You know, he's forbidden governors to pass laws. You know, undo taxes without letting them say, yay, that sounds good, yeah, we're down with that. He would just put taxes on their ass without letting them have a word. They took land. They created new offices and sent officers to harass the people. I mean, that almost sounds like Homeland Security and TSA. You know, it's like none of those things we really asked for. Those were just things that were thrown on us, right? He affected to render the military independent of the civil power. Okay, so we're seeing military starting to come over on our homeland here. Military is supposed to not be operating on U.S. soil. You know, military is supposed to be abroad. Military is designed for one thing, killing and killing only. But they found loopholes. You know, they're militarizing police. They're training to police the military things. So, you know, some of these things are eerily similar. Quartering large bodies of armed troops among us. Mock trials, you know, oh yeah, this person's part of our crew, yeah, okay. How many times we see things that we go, wow, if that was us, we'd be in jail, but because these guys are friends of the government or too big to fail or whatever, mock trials. It's like bullshit, right? Let's see here. Any of these other ones? Let's see, take away our charters. Let's see, no. plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, destroyed the lives of our peoples. It's some fucked up shit that they had to go through back then. Constrained our fellow citizens, taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become executioners of their friends and brethren. Wow. Excited domestic insurrections among us and endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers, the merciless Indian savages who knew known rule of warfare. So then they go about and talk about everybody who signed it. So it was signed by Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Massachusetts, Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Delaware, New York, New Jersey, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Hampshire. So, thing that I find interesting is these guys suffered and suffered and suffered for a while. And they tried everything in their power to, bring about change. But enough finally became enough. And they finally said, fuck it, we can't do this. And so when they wrote the Declaration of Independence, and they wrote the Constitution, they wrote all these different things, they were done in such a way to try to protect future generations, us. If they were to see us now and see all this bullshit that we're sitting around putting all this emphasis and attention on, I think they'd be very disappointed, personally. So, I can't help, when I was filming the Slice video, I was joking around and I had Captain America out. And I didn't just have Captain America out because he was wearing the red, white, and blue, but I happened to respect the character of Captain America pre all this bullshit with Hydra and everything else. I'm talking historical Captain America, even the recent Captain America movie. There's a point in the movie Civil War where he's having a debate with Tony Stark, Iron Man, and he's just unwavering. He's not budging. And he basically says, I can't budge. I can't look the other way when I see something wrong. I have to, I can't just let it slide. And there was a lot of parts in that movie that I think are there for a reason. I think they're there to remind us what we need to be able to do, what we should be doing. We shouldn't be looking the other way. There's too much of this compromising. Instead of having an unwavering faith and tenacity and strength of character to say, that's wrong when we see something wrong. And I'm here to tell you, I see a lot of things wrong in America. And I'm guilty of, for a long time, not saying shit. Just kind of, whatever. I'll try to teach my kids and teach them right from wrong, and that's that. But as I sit here on the 4th of July, reading the Declaration of Independence, thinking about what Independence Day really means, I find myself very angry at myself more than anything else. The reality is, we need to strengthen ourselves up. We need to be morally strong. I'm reminded of a conversation I had with a really good friend of mine. We were talking about Nazi Germany and protecting family. And this was many, many years ago. This is probably 4 or 5 years ago. No, about 5 or 6 years ago now, I think about it. And I don't know how we got to the topic, but the discussion was, if you could be the guy, so the Nazis come into a camp and you're there, and they pick you, and they say, your family will be safe. All you need to do is shoot other guys that we put in front of you all day long. So you're going to be our shooter, okay? And I said, there's nothing I wouldn't do to protect my family. I would gladly pick that gun up and start shooting people. My friend said, fuck that. I'd be like, no, I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, well, dude, even if you don't do it, they're going to pick somebody else to do it, and then they're going to shoot you and your fucking family. And he said, yeah, but morally it's wrong. It's not right. You're killing your fellow man, and you don't have a right to do that. And I said, yeah, but we're talking about saving our family. And he goes, but at what cost? And I got mad, and I didn't remember. I was like kind of perplexed. I was like, why am I getting so fucking mad? It's just a conversation. I remember I was really pissed off, but it was because I felt guilty. I felt really guilty. And then I felt, I got really kind of condescending, like, yeah, right, I guarantee you, if your fucking family, you would fucking take that gun up and you'd shoot the fuck out of whoever they put in front of me. He's like, no, I wouldn't. And as time gone by, I realized he's probably one of the few people that wouldn't, I'd like to say, yeah, I'd grab the gun and I'd fucking shoot as many of those Nazi bastards as I could. But the reality is, I have a very hard time when it comes to my family. It's like there's literally nothing I wouldn't do for my family. And but at the same time, what does that say for the moral code, right? It's like, I don't know. It's a very delicate line, and it becomes a slippery slope, because once you start to do justifying on one thing, you justify, okay, I'm gonna sacrifice my morals to do this. Okay, well, the next time I go to sacrifice my morals or my integrity or my honor, and I do it again, it might be a little easier and easier and easier, until at some point, fuck, I'm just justifying the shit out of everything. And I see a lot of that going on in society. At what point do we draw the line and say, okay, wait, enough is a fuck enough? Oh, wait, we gotta really check ourselves and say, are these issues that we are fighting each other over that important? We need to remember that we're brothers and sisters. At the end of the day, we are all riding on this fucking blue planet together. And we should be coming together instead of fighting each other over superficial, stupid shit. So anyway, I wanted to give you guys something to think about on the 4th of July. And I want you guys to really cherish all of the blessings and the good things going on around you. So enjoy the barbecue, enjoy the fireworks, enjoy the family, love each other. And then look at that stuff and realize that's the important shit in your life, is the well-being and happiness of your family, your friends, your fellow man. And after this rest, after all the good stuff, I want you to take a fucking real hard look at everything going on around us. And then you need to start figuring out shit you can fucking change in your realm, in your sphere of influence. And let's start making fucking the world a better place by any means necessary, right? Whether it be peaceful, and if it gets to the point where arms are needed to protect, don't be a bully, don't be an asshole, don't go out and provoke shit. But there comes a point where they start to try to take shit from you that provides your life and liberty in the pursuit, life, happiness, and pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So if they start trying to take away shit you need in that pursuit, it's your responsibility to fight back. Even if that fighting back is to say, fuck no, dude. No, no, you can't have it. No, can't take it. And I know that's a tough thing to say. And that's a tough pill to swallow. And I hope to God that if I'm ever tested, and the proof has to be in the pudding, that I'm able to stand among those who will be tested and say, test me, motherfucker. Bring it. Because it's not just my family. It's all of us. It's you, your family, my best friends' families, etc., etc. That's the shit we ultimately fight for. We got to stop thinking about just ourselves and start thinking about bigger. Alright guys, you guys be safe. Have a fucking blessed 4th of July. Have fun. Be safe. And until next time, please be good to each other.